Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for our webinar, Maximize Campaign Impact with AI and Contextual Strategies. My name is Arda. I'm part of the marketing team here at StackAdapt. I would like to hand it over to our presenters to get us started.
Hello, everyone. My name is Serena Fanelli, and I'm a sales manager for StackAdapt. I've been here almost 2 years, and before StackAdapt, I was very focused on mobile strategies.
Yeah, and hi everyone, my name is Ryan Kelly. I'm also a sales manager at StackAdapt. I'm actually on Serena's team as well. I've been here also about 2 years in the next couple of weeks anyway. And yeah, before joining StackAdapt, I spent about 8 years in Contextual. So it's a topic I hopefully know well anyway, and we can have a chat about today. So for those of you joining who might not have had a discussion with StackAdapt yet or worked with us before, just a very quick introduction or even a recap of who we are and what we do. So StackAdapt, we're a multi-channel demand-side platform. We essentially enable you to run digital advertising campaigns across multiple channels like display, native, video, connected TV, audio, digital out of home, and in-game. I think I've remembered them all there. And we can also apply multiple targeting tactics to those as well, from things like third-party segments to proprietary contextual targeting, as well as things like ABM. The platform is built to be self-serve, very intuitive, easy to set up for those of you who might have experience with campaign setup or programmatic in general. But we also do offer a managed service where we can essentially manage campaigns for you and be an extension of your team. And even beyond that as well, we have kind of experts in our solutions team for specific verticals that can get involved with planning. And we do have an in-house creative team as well, if you needed any creative help or wanted discussion around creative strategy. So if any of that sounds interesting, obviously do feel free to reach out after or reach out to your existing StackAdapt rep. So to run through the agenda quickly for today, we're going to talk about leveraging AI to optimize your workflow. We're then going to talk about the comeback of contextual advertising, the contextual tactics that we can leverage in StackAdapt, and what machine learning and AI with StackAdapt looks like. And then at the end, we'll wrap up on any key points and obviously take any questions that you guys might have. So to begin with, yeah, we're going to talk about leveraging AI and optimizing your workflow. And just begin by talking about how those AI technologies work and what they are and how we define them. So machine learning, I'm sure most of you guys have probably heard of that before, but it's essentially a subset of AI that involves the developing algorithms and statistical models, allowing those computer systems to enhance performance without that explicit programming. So really like looking at what has worked and what hasn't in the past, and then applying those learnings sort of automated without that specific programming. Natural language processing is next up, NLP. This is actually really key when it comes to contextual targeting. We'll go into that in a bit more detail later on. But NLP essentially enables us to understand word relationships and how they are with each other in text. So to truly understand what that means and make sure campaigns, for example, go to where they're meant to go. And that essentially enables like a machine to understand human-like language. So it's also using things like chatbots when we're chatting to whatever delivery service it is about where our package is. Next up is predictive analytics. So that is essentially what it says on the tin, really. It's applying those statistical algorithms and the machine learning to predict those future outcomes, again, based on what has happened previously. So if we're looking again at a campaign, what worked and what hasn't, applying those to estimate forecasting and things like that. And then finally, computer vision actually enables machines to interpret based on visual data like images or videos. It's quite similar, I guess, to natural language processing. That's more text-based, whereas computer vision is more image or video-based. Cool. So some of the key benefits of AI. I know there's a lot of stuff in the press right now about how it's going to take over the world and take all our jobs. but I guess there is no getting around the fact that it is going to save time. AI does gather data quickly and essentially allows us to get tasks done much quicker, to then concentrate on things that we maybe need to put a bit more time and concentration into. And all of these sort of go hand in hand, but ultimately it's going to improve efficiencies. 99% of surveyed European agency and brand marketers actually reported a positive impact of AI on their advertising growth. So yeah, not really a downside to that by the looks of things. And then off the back of that, it could spark things like creativity, again, looking at what worked and what hasn't from a creative perspective, to then put that into practice when it comes to future strategies and conceptualizing ideas. And then finally, all of that should actually help reduce advertising waste. Nearly a third of those marketers that were surveyed reported a substantial decrease in the waste when it came to their advertising and using AI. Of course, there are challenges to it. It's not all positives, but from those marketers that were surveyed, the main kind of concern was data privacy and compliance when it came to implementing AI technologies. Very closely followed by concerns around the complexity of that integration, perhaps like the time involved to get that done and the workforce that would need to go into doing that. There are also limited understandings of AI capabilities within teams right now, so I guess the time again to get teams trained up and using AI to its best capabilities. And of course, there would be a level of financial investment required to it as well, and what that looks like in terms of cost. And as we've already mentioned, I guess there is an ethical consideration to it as well, and how that ultimately affects the business and the workforce.
So what are the areas that will be impacted from AI in the future? Machine learning has indeed transformed and continues to empower advertisers in various ways. What we are expecting to see are better targeting and measurement, enhanced identity resolution techniques to better understand and reach specific audiences, accessible reporting to make these viable to different people in different departments, and an impact on creative production. The made for advertising issues refer to the creation of websites with the sole purpose of advertising, which do not take a lot in consideration the quality that we can provide to the users. So it's very important that marketers focus on partnership and platform that prioritize both user experience and quality content. AI is also going to have a transformative role in programmatic advertising, which is a trend driven by pursuing efficiencies amongst evolving cookies alternative. And this is literally the beginning of the new era where AI can enhance programmatic campaign across different channels. AI can support the campaign planning, but before we dive into the tool, it's very important to mention that marketers need to define goals and relevant metrics. No AI can operate on its own in an isolated environment, and no AI was tailor-made for someone's specific requirement. So before we start using the tools, it's very important that we establish goals and metrics as a first step. So how AI can support us is like defining our audience. AI can provide us with strategic insights to target a specific audience in a more precise way. Strategic forecasting, where we can leverage certain analytics to align the trends with our advertising activity. Through the competitor analysis, we can gather the weaknesses and the strength of our competitors and adapt the strategy accordingly. And then through natural language processing, we can analyze the feedback to create compelling content and that resonates with our ads. AI can accelerate the campaign launch, and this can be done through the budget allocation, where we go and look at historical performance data and direct the resources on the channels that can maximize our ROI. Through creating different ad copy variation that resonate with the persona, and this can save us time and enhance our campaign effectiveness. We can pre-test the messaging, so we can basically compare the output with the campaign goal and then clarify or enhance the copies. Or through generating images and bits of video for social media in a more cost-efficient way. AI can be used to improve campaign performance. We can look at content optimization. We can optimize underperforming ads by refining messaging, visuals, or other content element. Through data analysis, where basically AI has the capabilities of analyzing a large set of data and provide us with actionable insights to enable data-driven decision. Reporting using AI can save us time on the manual reporting, and then can support us with providing timely and accurate updates to the stakeholders. And lastly, we have the sentiment analysis, always using the natural language processing to extract insights and to understand and improve a positive brand image. The rise of contextual advertising is basically reflecting an industry shift towards a more targeted and personalized advertising. This strategy focuses on delivering ads based on the context the user is engaging with. And the success of this strategy hinges on information that are universally interpretable throughout the bid stream. In 2023, contextual advertising spending was estimated about 160 billion globally. Projections suggest that that we will reach more than double in 2030, touching approximately 400 billions. So what are the advantages of these? We can look at a privacy-friendly methodology because there are no cookies involved. The ads are going to be more relevant and personalized. There is a measured brand safety because the ads are placed close to appropriate context. And the advancement with the artificial intelligence and the natural language processing will enhance accuracy by understanding the context and the semantic. The key difference between contextual and behavioral targeting is that behavioral targeting leverages action that happened in the past, while contextual is actually targeting users that are engaging with relevant content right now. And based on our historical analysis, StackAdapt, placing the ad in the right context can increase the efficiency and the engagement from a factor from 4 to 10. So for example, if someone is reading a blog about coffee, then we can target them with certain ads that are talking about coffee machines or specialty coffee beans, because it will be more likely that the user will be engaging with coffee-related product at the time. Introducing contextual to the strategy doesn't mean to remove all the other methodologies or behavioral, because these methodologies leverage different techniques and they can be used in conjunction to improve the efficiency of the strategy. It's worth mentioning that cookies will be still available on mobile, so behavioral targeting is something that can still be used in an effective way.
Cool. So what are the contextual tactics that we can leverage here at StackAdapt? So yeah, like I said at the start, before joining StackAdapt, I did work in contextual for a while, and with the third-party cookie deprecation, I think a lot of people pivoted, or a lot of companies pivoted to contextual and said they could do it, but to what extent they can do it does vary a lot. So there are tools out there that are quite blunt. They'll see a keyword and target or block that keyword just based on that alone and not take into account any of the terms around it, which is where natural language processing comes in really valuable. So it's nice to, when I joined StackAdapt, to see that we were using those tactics to truly understand content and really align ads where's best. So one of our proprietary tools is called Page Context AI. This essentially enables you to build custom contextual segments in the platform using natural language processing. The way it works is that we have in-context phrases and out-of-context phrases. Those in-context phrases are terms you want to go and target, and the out-of-context phrases are terms that you don't want to target from a relevancy or a suitability perspective. So you wouldn't need to worry about adding murder, death, kill terms in here. We have all of that covered as standard by PQ and brand safety. It's more to refine the targeting and hone in on exactly that kind of content that you want. So an example might be you have the word cloud. Again, with some of those other blunt instruments out there, targeting the word cloud, you could actually end up in content about the weather. So with Page Context AI, you're able to say, right, in context, cloud, but then also maybe add in some other IT data terms. And then in your out of context phrases, you could include weather terms, for example. And then that's going to ensure that we're only aligning in those contexts that match. So it's a really great way of targeting niche contexts as well. It's fully transparent. You're in control of which terms are in the in context and out of context. You actually also get a preview of page URLs that targeting would serve ads to. So you can essentially sense check everything. And obviously the key benefit of all of this is being able to reach audiences without cookies. So some of the use cases for Page Context AI that we've seen, actually users who want to broaden their context and scale. Page Context AI by its design is actually used as a seed for targeting. So all of those terms that you put in, that's used as a base, and then essentially allowing the machine learning and the algorithm to go off and find other contexts it thinks are relevant to those as well, that you might then go and target. And it's great for kind of targeting big life events or big sporting events, etc. You can target, like Serena said, those users in moment as they're exploring those, whether it's someone who's looking for ideas for a best man speech at a wedding, researching what pram is best for their upcoming baby, whatever it is, we're able to target those users in those moments as they sort of progress through all of those. But that's not to say you can't use it again for those like niche topics, or even non-big life events. If it's someone maybe researching about a new laptop or headphones or whatever it might be, we can reach them as they're doing that. Probably important to point out as well that contextual relevance doesn't just come from text or written content, sorry. We can also apply contextual relevance to a user's like geolocation or their current environment. So within the platform, we are also able to do things like weather targeting. I'm based in Essex, just outside of London. So it's pretty grey and frosty here at the moment. So I might be served a specific ad with certain messaging and a certain product related to that, like a nice warm coat. Whereas Serena is actually based in Italy at the moment, told it's very nice and warm and sunny there. So she could be served as part of the same campaign, a completely different message and a completely different product that is relevant to her current environment.
Quite a strategic tactics that we can leverage to be in the right place at the right time is digital out of home, where it's basically any advertising experience that we have outside of our home. The ads are contextually placed in strategic location where we can influence the user to buy, and whenever they are in the frame of mind to buy our product. There are different formats that we can go for. So for example, the large formats they varies from billboard to bus shelter, and they are best viewed by pedestrian or at street level traffic. We do have place-based that are placed in relevant area like mall, gyms, office building, restaurants, and many more. These formats provide unique opportunities to engage with consumer whenever they are in a natural setting. And the point of purchases, which are subcategory of the place-based, they exist in shopping destination, and they have the ability of influencing the user while they are making a purchase decision. Digital out-of-home strategies can vary across the various stage of the funnel. So depending on which part of the funnel we are at, we can use it in different ways. So top of the funnel strategies, we want to build brand awareness, and therefore we suggest using high impact creatives or locate the ads where in high traffic areas. Whenever we move to mid-funnel strategies, what we really want is to influence consumer consideration. So we want to display personalized messages or product information or social media feeds. And lower funnel strategies, they are more meant to drive online conversion through a call to action, or they want to drive foot traffic directly in physical stores. The type of targeting that we can rely on, it's geographic targeting. These can be like country, cities, postcode, or lat long. Time of the day, venue type, and weather targeting. Integrating contextual and AI across the marketing funnel can significantly enhance efficiency and effectiveness of our strategy. For each step of the user journey, we do suggest different channels. So if we are in the awareness stage, what we want is to use broad keywords and reach a various number of users so that our brand can resonate with a large number of users. The channel that we suggest are digital out of home, in-game, CTV, and audio. When we move to the consideration stage, what we want is to showcase a relevant product and service, and AI can support us analyzing past behavior and interaction. The channels that we suggest are video, display, native, and CTV. In the conversion stage, what we really want is to leverage dynamic retargeting with focus on special offers or limited time deals, and AI can support us individuating the leads with a high intent to purchase or to conversion. And one of the channels that we suggest is display. And when we arrive to the loyalty stage, what we really want is to retain our users. So what we can do is to use contextual targeting to leverage complementary product to what the user has previously bought in the past. And then AI can support us analyzing customer behavior or feedback to identify areas for improvement. The channels that we suggest are native, display, and video.
Cool. So yeah, what does machine learning and AI look like at StackAdapt? It's pretty simple, really. It's everything that our platform is built on, enabling us to essentially automate performance and those decisions so that your campaigns can do more at scale and be more efficient and be better at performance. So we pulled out some key stats here. We make about 140 plus billion decisions per second. We're entering over 4 billion auctions per day, and we're being offered nearly 500 billion ad opportunities per day as well. In order to decide which of those auctions and which of those ad placements is best, we're taking into a lot of consideration these different factors all simultaneously, so kind of within milliseconds, and again, allowing that machine learning algorithm to make those decisions for us. So it might be based on things like best performing creative, placements, devices, could even be supply sources, domains. We'll also look to take into account the bid prices and campaign goals. So if you're bidding on something like a CPM, but you had a particular CTR goal or a CPC goal in mind, the algorithm will essentially look at that and decide to enter auctions where it thinks it's more likely to achieve those goals. And then kind of simultaneously to that, we'll be obviously trying to align your campaigns with the targeting selected. If there's any contextual targeting overlaid, make sure they're in the right contextual environments, whilst obviously analyzing those contexts in real time as well to reach those users as they read it and in that moment. And also, you know, doing all of this, trying to make sure there are no issues with things like fraudulent inventory and brand safety too. So there's a lot of factors that go into it, but that's what the machine learning that AI has been built to help us with.
So here we are to the three main takeaways that we would like to leave you at the end of this webinar. So the first one is that contextual strategies are here to stay, especially with cookies deprecation. Contextual strategies are our best tool to keep our strategies personalized and flexible. AI will support us with efficiency, not just streamlining our workflow, but will help us to elevate and optimize our campaign. And as well, the usage of AI along with contextual to boost our level of performance, where we can basically count on the precision of the artificial intelligence and the flexibility of the contextual to help us navigate an ever-changing market.
Thank you, Ryan and Serena. So that was very insightful. We would now like to jump into the Q&A portion of our webinar and open up the floor to any questions you might have. As a reminder, if you have any questions, please place them in the questions box of the GoToWebinar panel. I see that there are several questions already coming through. So just a heads up, if you're not able to get to yours today, please don't worry. We will follow up directly with you after the webinar. Okay, so first question. Can you provide examples of successful campaigns that have effectively utilized both AI and contextual targeting?
I'll take this one. So I'd like to start with saying that using the right strategy can basically help any vertical, like choosing the right contextual will boost any type of your campaign. However, what we have seen a great success are certain industry like travel and tourism, or especially like retails and e-commerce. Like with e-commerce, we can definitely leverage dynamic retargeting that will retarget the users based on their past behavior and the browsing preferences. But as well, another industry that is worth mentioning is the health and wellness one, where basically there are a lot of publications that can be reached using a contextual with AI along together to boost more specific topics.
Thank you, Serena. Another question that we have, similar question. Can you share examples of industries where contextual targeting has proven particularly effective in enhancing campaign performance?
Yeah, Serena's given some good ones there. Personally, I've run some gaming campaigns that have used contextual really well, and it's performed really well. So, you know, if it's like a game launch, aligning those ads within content about that specific game. So if it's users who are like really excited about the game coming out and researching about it, we can obviously align the ad within that content. Also competitor games, sort of aligning next to those, and that obviously goes for other industries as well, kind of competitor conquesting and getting in front of users who might be like researching another brand. And then I was going to say something else as well, and I can't remember. Oh yeah, so if the game genre as well. So yeah, if that particular game launches in a particular genre of game, you know, targeting users who are reading about those, they might not have heard of this one, to get it out there. So yeah, I've seen a lot of success in that industry as well. And Contextual has actually performed really well from a view through conversion perspective, for those and for other industries too. But yeah, just worth noting that as well.
Thank you, Ryan. That's very interesting. And another question is, in a multi-channel marketing approach, how does contextual targeting adapt to ensure a consistent message across various platforms?
I'll go. Contextual is quite flexible, and then it can adapt to any type of content of context. So by placing a pixel on the landing page, what we can do, for example, to guarantee consistency is to use sequential messaging. So we do retarget the users with sequential messaging that will say a story that resonates with what they are looking for, but will also resonate with the brand and with the campaign goal. So yeah, definitely using the right set of keywords and a great retargeting, along with a great retargeting, will definitely boost the performance and keep consistency across all the channels that we want to leverage.
Thank you, Serena. One last question. Are there best practices for combining contextual targeting with other targeting methods to maximize overall effectiveness?
Well, and I'll answer that because Serena's done two already. So I think we always encourage to test different targeting tactics anyway. Like Serena's kind of mentioned, it doesn't mean we're saying you should ditch other targeting tactics for contextual. It's, you know, always test different ones, and it's going to differ depending on what you're targeting, who you're targeting, the product, the brand, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, we definitely encourage testing as many targeting tactics as possible, or is as relevant to your brand as possible, and then optimizing budget accordingly. So again, we always encourage that flexibility when it comes to the budget and being able to move that around towards best performing. And like I said before, there are definitely tactics that lend themselves better to certain objectives than others. Again, like contextual, we've seen that work really well for view through conversions. Like interest and intent segments, browsing segments work well for conversions as well, but we've seen them work well for things like CTR and traffic too. So yeah, it just depends on the objective and multiple factors, but I guess being as open-minded and flexible as possible is always going to help.
Fantastic. Thank you so much once again, Ryan and Serena. And that was the last question. That concludes today's webinar. I would like to thank you all for attending today. We hope you find it both informative and insightful, and enjoy the rest of your day.